Hi everyone, welcome to TerraQUIP Talk. I'm really happy for this episode as we will be talking with Kenny O'Sullivan from O'Sullivan Ground Engineering. Now, I've known Kenny for many years. He used to be my client before TerraQUIP time. He's my client now with TerraQUIP for IMT, Marini, as well as GNH Computers. And he has a huge amount of experience in our industry. He has experience in ground improvement, anchoring, concreting, piling, and all of the things related to our civil industry. He has a big team and works at a national level. So welcome, Kenny.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having us. Great pleasure to catch up once again.
It's my pleasure every time we catch up.
Yeah.
I have to say, Kenny, good on you for accepting to do this video because we have some clients and they're super happy to give us good feedback. They're really happy to even talk to other clients on our behalf.
Yep.
And tell them about a good experience they had with TerraQUIP, but in no way they're like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. So good on you for accepting. Credit to you for this.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's something I normally do, but for such a good supplier and
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Although we tell them, I tell to every client, it's just a discussion between friends. Don't worry about the cameras.
Yeah, it's just a only discussion. But I have them every day.
It's just a discussion between professionals, right? So that goes for you as well.
Yeah.
This is just a discussion between us. Don't mind the cameras, or if you want to talk to the cameras, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
But no worries. Just look at me. All right, let's get started. First things first. How and when did you start O'Sullivan?
So I've been a contractor since 2000. So it's 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. So, honestly, started from the ground up.
As they say.
Yeah, literally. Just tying steel, shotcreting, bought my first pump, went on it myself for the first few years, and slowly built that with some of the great people we have.
So initially you started O'Sullivan as the founder and the sole owner.
Yes, yeah. So yes, my contracting has been a long game over a lot of years. First started off shotcreting, then went into anchoring, and as you know, lately you've helped us get into the piling and a lot more.
So the piling contracting arm started which year? How many years ago?
Oh, quite a number of years ago.
Because you first had the test car, right?
Yes. So we started with test car. We've had all the brands really, and down through the years, we really started in the micropile side of things. All the tied access, all these jobs that no one else wants to do, as you hand where our sweet spot is.
Yeah.
And as of late, we've got into the bigger stuff. But we're always around in complex jobs where we like to.
Yeah, especially tied access, and we're gonna touch base on that. We're gonna get into a bit more detail later on with a few points because that's actually quite interesting. So after many years of anchoring and building your reputable name in Australia, can you tell us a bit more about your experience in piling? So, for example, with we installed because you became our client first with Marini, which was low headroom access caddy bar. And then it was obviously we've done quite a number of servicing jobs for you for different brands, and then you choose to install the first GNH computer from us. We installed it for you on the SR40. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what was your experience in piling with that, and why did you choose the GNH?
We chose the GNH because you had it, because we had the support. You've always supported us, even with all our machinery from a service level, and that's very important to us. At the end of the day, there's a lot of equipment out there these days, but if you don't have the support behind it, and something you can rely on, when it all goes wrong, sometimes you need that fast reaction line, the support of them people, and sometimes that doesn't have to be 50 people. The big business. I ring you, Mike, because I've known you. Yeah.
Absolutely. The relationship plays such a huge role in our industry, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah. It's it's massive, because at the end of the day,
It's about the trust, right? It's
being a contractor can be a lonely place sometimes. So any friends you've got, is good. You know,
that's so good. That's so important.
when you can pick up that phone and know that that person is going to give you 100% on the end of it, it's no money can buy that.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And one thing that I wanted to say, you know, we've started working with so many of our clients that became IMT clients with just simple jobs, you know, a servicing, a computer, a rental, and then seeing the services that we provided, they want to work with us. And that's exactly the case for Kenny as well. It's about building that relationship, building that trust, and being there for the client that you support, for the people that you support. Okay. Another thing that's kind of interesting with you and how it worked with you, you see a lot of the clients that we worked with, they first started with INT, and then they moved on to becoming a client of ours for Marini, for anchoring, right?
Yep.
In your case, it was actually quite the opposite.
Yeah,
because we went on to work with Marini MRP350, like we said, in low headroom Kelly bar. Then you worked with the MRC20 with the anchoring ring.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that project? I think that was in Queensland, right?
Yeah, the anchoring side of things was a crane base, quite a big crane base. It's centre Brisbane, for a very reputable client up there, a very good client of ours in Brisbane. And that was, we were in a very tight space, tight program.
Needed something quite powerful, but also very small.
Yeah, we needed something, you know, in a small space, but could do a big job. And that was the Marini for us.
The MRC20, yeah.
Yeah, the MRC20.
You've worked in downhole hammer with it, right?
Yeah, we went downhole hammer there. I think we were like 150 diameter to 170 to 80 and 20 meters. So if anyone knows, you know, that's even for some of the big rigs, that takes a lot out of them. Not when you're in
absolutely
a space of 4.5 by 4.5 meters. Yes, so but it went very well for us.
Yeah, performed
very,
well.
very happy. We met program and budgets for our clients on it, which was very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, going back to, so we worked with Marini, we worked together on GNH, and then we moved on to purchasing your first IMT machine, which you've been looking at the IMT machines for quite a while. Can you tell me sort of like the first impression that you had about IMT, and what sort of, what did you think when I first came and saw you about the IMT machines?
When I seen, first of all, when you came to me with IMT, I really liked all the crowd, fast change CFA,
the winch rope systems.
The winch rope systems. Because in our game, you know, it's got more competitive. So, you know, you can't have any downtime. Especially with some of the jobs O'Sullivan do, we go into jobs that sometimes they're very, very challenging. They're the type of projects we take on. And
with a lot of pressure on, right?
A lot of pressure on. You got to be able to move fast. So that sometimes means switching between Kelly to CFA.
Geometric methodology. Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, with some of the other makes out there and, you know, some of the older equipment, that's a 3-day, 4-day process, as you know.
Look, in all honesty, we've got machines as well that work with the not so fast, let's say, conversion systems, such as the 3-power line or the 4-power line pool. For example, on the IMT A140 CFA, we've got a 4-power line pool, as a lot of people know. And I appreciate what you're saying, you know, in regards to flexibility, fast conversion, and things like that. But I guess that's not the only advantage. So that's one advantage. That's one side of the story. But on the other side of the story is the fact that the 4-power line pool shifts that main winch 4 times. So it gives you 4 times the power, which makes the machine a lot more competent and a lot more capable on the pullback, right? So while, yes, the conversion is a lot quicker on the winch crowd system, sometimes you only have the combined line pull of the main winch and the crowd winch
Yep.
versus the 4-pile line pull, which can sometimes be 4 times the power of the main winch. So basically double the power of a combined line pull. So I just wanted to touch base on that because that's and I am going to dedicate a whole episode about this, to talk about the differences between winch draw system and pull down cylinder and what it means for conversion from the Kelly bar methodology to the CFA methodology. But anyway, I just wanted to slip that in there, because I guess the bottom line is it's not always, just, you should know, just advantages,
for our case, and you're right, because I have
it's whatever suits, correct.
Whatever suits your application. We have a lot of other rigs with the 4-line.
With the 4-pile line pull, yeah. So
for me, this was
which they're very competent, right?
They're
very capable.
Very capable, and this rig it's more of a in between of our fleet, where we can quickly change. It's the medium size rig in our fleet, and it's just good new technology, compact. Once again, like I just said with the Marini, it packs a big punch in a small area, which once again is all these tight access jobs we do. Kind of one of the things that still gets us excited in the contracting game is the challenges.
The challenges, right?
We love a good challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. and we do too as well, right? Because we supply it to you guys, so then your problem becomes our problem. And I guess we prove to you time and time again that every time there is a problem, because there will be problems. Whoever says there's no problems in the piling industry, they're not telling you the truth. There's always problems.
I have a saying is, one thing's guaranteed is problems. It's how you deal with them.
Exactly. It's how you react to it and your whole behavior towards them and the way you, as I said, the way we make it our problem, to fix it for you.
It's how you deal with these problems along. And once again, that's why we're such a good relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So you saw the iron teeth machines. You thought they're quite simple. Not a lot of things to go wrong. They have good, at least some of our models, they have really good flexibility, and we spoke about that fast winch conversion system.
That's just a part of it. It's drilling capacity, which a lot of people overlook, is its accessibility. It reaches out, it drills off the corners of tracks and see if it's able to do it. As I said, you look at the specs on the spec sheet, and it does very deep piles. It does big diameter CFAs, and then you start measuring it up, and it's actually quite a small, compact unit footprint wise.
Yeah,
that's a big thing for us. As the project you've seen where we first put it on.
We'll get into that in a second. That's actually quite interesting because we have quite a few images from there, which we're gonna share throughout the episode. But one thing that I wanted to mention regarding the design and regarding piling rigs, there's so many piling rigs out there, right? There's so many machines. And one of the biggest things with the newer design machines, so designs, I say they started, after 2017, 2018, is always following the principle between the drilling axis and the center of gravity, right? And then from the center of the gravity to the tail of the swing of the machine. So you'll notice on the old style machines, on the old piling rigs, the tail swings, the back swings back, hangs back such a long way, making it so difficult to slew, to discharge the material, to move around the side. Whereas, but they also have, quite a larger parallelogram. So they reach quite a lot in front, right? The newer design, what they try to do, they try to bring all of that in closer to the center of gravity. So the tail swing is a lot smaller, but also the reach is just enough so you can drill at 360 degrees around the tracks, and that's exactly what you care, right? As long as you can drill at 45 degrees across tracks on the edge of the track, then that's okay for you.
Yeah,
right?
And that was a big attraction for us when making our decision. Because a lot of people don't look at that because, they've got a big greenfield site.
Easy to drill, right? Easy to set up, easy to move around.
Yeah, easy to get in, easy to move around. not with all our jobs. As I said, O'Sullivan specializes in that tight axis stuff. So that extra meter of counterweight is the
Plays a
difference.
huge role, right?
Is the difference of me doing the job or not doing the job. Right?
Exactly, yeah. Very good.
And everyone say, oh well, it doesn't really matter. You can get a smaller rig, but then that smaller rig doesn't have the depth capacity.
Or the diameter, right?
Yes, or the diameter.
Or the productivity, because it's not always like you can choose a small rig to do a huge hole, but does it take you 2 weeks to do a hole, or does it take you half an hour,
Yeah, Chris, you got to bring the right power to the party, or
because you've got another 300, 400 piles to drill, right?
Yeah.
So in the case of so you choose to go with the A90 winch cross system, you went for the Kelly and the CFA version.
Yeah.
But don't forget, you've also got the segmental mast on the A90, which is really cool, guys, because the IMT winch cross system has a segmental mast, which gives you the ability to drill in low headroom Kelly bar, but also in low headroom CFA, which I think is quite interesting to you, Kenny, because you've done quite a lot of low headroom CFA, haven't you?
Yeah, we've specialized in we've done a lot of jobs in a few of the major cities around Australia. Once again, we're doing CFA 500 diameter, 450 diameter, down to quite significant depths.
600 as well?
Yeah, 600. We're
the low headroom 600, yeah?
Low headroom 600. Yeah. And we're talking about low headroom of like 2.5 meters.
2.5.
Yeah, and we're drilling to depths of 10 meters.
Okay.
That's quite hard to get in Australia. We're one of the few people that can actually do that. That they can be quite interesting jobs sometimes.
Do you think that this sort of jobs are going to become more and more, they're going to come across more often?
Very much so. It was a decision of ours years ago to go after that market, because all the major cities, especially Sydney, all the good sites are built out. So they're all moving into all the heritage areas now. We do a lot of heritage work where you can't just get in there and level a building anymore. You've got the heritage to take care of. Yeah. So you have to work around
what's already built or is not allowed to demolish.
What's there. And that means not getting the 20-ton, 30-ton, 40-ton, 50-ton pylon rigging anymore. You got to get this little 6-tonner through the front door, literally, of a building.
Without touching it?
Without touching it. And perform all your work. It's like surgery from the inside. It's like keyhole surgery.
Yeah.
So, and once again, that's what my team loves. We love that.
Yeah, no, that's very good. And speaking of the project now with Heritage, you actually have one of these projects where the A90 is currently working on in the CFA.
Right.
I've been there. It's quite a imposing, let's say, spectacular building that oversees the harbour bridge and the whole bay, and it's prime real estate. Can you tell me a little bit about that job? Because you've got quite a few piles to build there, outside and inside, right?
Yeah, so I think there's about 400 piles on that job. So a lot of it is your conventional piling on the outside, on the perimeters.
And when we say conventional, it's still
extremely, really tight. Or as we call it, just another day in the office, but for other people, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Other people just wouldn't do it. A lot of contractors didn't want to do it. They wouldn't, as I said, take on the challenge. But with our very capable team, we can do that. And one of the reasons we got the job was because of our full capability of doing the big piles on the outside.
Yeah.
Which the A90, and then using the small machinery inside the building. Quite an interesting job because we're actually going to be putting the building up on stilts, literally, at the end of it.
Wow.
A heritage building. And look, the whole team from our client all the way to all my people, it's definitely a team effort all around.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'll be definitely following that that job closely, not only because the IMT is there, and potentially we're gonna have another machine there.
Yes, that's right. Sure. Out.
To help you with to get the productivity and to get ahead of schedule.
Yes, keep our clients happy, stakeholders, yeah.
Absolutely. And inside, can you tell me a little bit about the inside? Is that going to be a potential job for the MRP 350 in Kelibar, or no? It's got to be just low headroom CFA.
It's going to be low headroom CFA, and this is one of the jobs, and one of the reasons O'Sullivan was picked for this is there's still a lot to be worked out when we get there. So we are literally dropping the whole site down and starting to dig in under the building.
Wow.
So
impressive.
Yeah, there could be a lot of different methodologies used there. There could be case and open hole CFA, all down to even hem piling, which is another part of.
So you kind of have to adapt it on the go in order to complete the job, right?
Yeah, correct. Because it's going to be kind of as you go. Like we've an overall plan, but like any great plans, they change. And once again, that's what O'Sullivan does. We guarantee just one thing: the job is going to get done.
Yeah,
every time.
Can you think of, for example, the project that you've done in the city, in the heart of the city? I think it was about a year or 2 years ago with the Marini MRP 350. That was very, very tight access as well. Yeah, and there were 8-meter piles.
Yeah, correct. I think you helped us out there at the very end. There was that whole project, we did stage 1, we went on to stage 2, and I think that one you're specifically talking about was stage 3. That was, once again, a heritage building. Quite a major landmark in Sydney. It was an old sandstone building, beautiful building. And there was an awful lot of heritage around it where we did a lot of anchors piling inside the buildings, keeping the outer facade in place. Once again, a lot of strict guidelines had to be adhered to.
They have to be followed, yeah.
And then we literally did everything to doing the piling to support the facade, right down to doing the traffic light, the lights, street lights.
Yeah.
On the outside, years and years later. And that's where we got your ring to do it. Yeah. We did it on a weekend shutdown, right smack bang in the middle of the city. That's why it was done on the weekend, when it was all the offices were a bit quieter. Still a lot happening there.
Yeah, of course.
And we were in around some major assets in the city, with a lot of traffic, and we can't disrupt what's happening. So it was interesting to bring us from I remember the first day going into that job, and, they were moving out the furniture as we were moving in with drill rigs, to putting in the street lights outside it. It was quite exciting.
Wow.
Years later. So.
What sort of piles were they? How do you remember by any chance the depth, the productivity, things like that?
I remember hearing it. We
totally unscripted, yeah?
Yeah, totally unscripted, yeah. Just a bit of a test. I do remember 6 to 8 meters. I do remember lots of rock. Lots of heavy rock. One of the reasons we picked your machine, it's got the lock-in Kelly, and kind of the biggest small rig you could say that we could get in that place to drill that rock, because we had big time restraints on that job. We had Saturday, Sunday, that's it. Had to be done by Monday.
Yeah.
And off and back on the truck and out of there. And we did that.
So I'll just add in really quickly. The advantage with the MRP 350 is not only, like Kenny said, the locking, the mechanical locking Kelly bar is a 9-stage Kelly bar that can go down to 11 meters. However, we have the second Kelly bar for softer material that has more elements and can go down to 18 meters. However, for harder rock, like Kenny said, we got to use the heavy duty one, which has 9 elements and can go down to 10, 11 meters. But the advantage of the MRP 350 is the fact that not only it's powerful, because there's so many other little machines like that out there that are powerful, But the advantage is the fact that it's got the weight. You've got to have the weight when you're sitting on that tool.
Correct.
Right? It's not only about having the torque, it's not only about having the rotation, it's not only about having the physical depth of the Kelly bar, it's also having the weight to sit on that tool, to sit on that Kelly bar when you apply crowd force, so the machine doesn't just push back, it actually just sits there and grinds. And the MRP 350 is actually a 9.5 ton machine, which is quite unique in this class, being close to 10 tons overall weight.
Yeah, you're right. You know, a lot of machines out there, and that's what people don't realize. You can have all the torque in the world. You can't apply that torque and pressure, weight, that purchase on that rock. Doesn't work. Even some of the rigs, they have all that, but they can't apply the weight on it. You know, the Marini seems to do that well, yeah.
Exactly. And we were talking just earlier about how the newer design of piling rings, they bring the distance between the center of the hole, the center of the pile, and the actual tail swing. They bring it closer to the center of gravity. Besides being more compact like that, what that also does is having basically a shorter arm. So when you push on, when you apply crowd, it doesn't push back as much, right?
Yeah, you can put your full weight on it. Yeah.
You can put it for, like, if I keep my hand in front, you can do whatever you want with it here. But here, you can't do much, right? It's closer to the body of the machine. Therefore, it offers better stability.
Yeah, correct.
Speaking of, there's a lot of machines out there, right? And I've got a lot of friends that are competitors in this game. Yeah. Do you know how many piling rig suppliers we're in Australia right now?
No.
Just throw in a number.
How many piling rigs suppliers?
Yeah. We're not talking about the tools, just the actual piling machines, right? Have a wild guess.
7 or 8?
7 or 8? A little bit more. We're 19 suppliers.
Is that right?
Yeah. If you count all the brands, from the most premium ones, from your Bowers and Liebers,
yep,
to the IMTs, to all the other ones, down to the Asian manufacturers, we're about 19 suppliers. I don't know, 19 names.
I know there's a lot of new rigs coming on the market. You know, we get calls with them all the time, but you stick with, as I said, it all comes back to trust for me, you know.
Trusted relationship, proven capability, history, right?
Yeah, they all look, you know, like I could have bought a rig half the price. Doesn't mean this because they did anything better for it. Right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not, as a contractor, we're not foolish with our money. So we...
You got to choose very careful, right? That it can literally be the... It's not like buying a hammer or buying a hand drill. It literally can be the difference between the success for a company or not in the future.
100%. And it's not about how much you spend, it's what you get for your money. It's the value you get back.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what bang for my buck, as I call it. And as a contractor, it's it's worth it.
No, that's really good. Thank you, Kenny. Now, over the years, you've obviously developed your company. You became bigger and bigger. You took on more projects, more drilling methodologies, more applications. What do you think helped you become a successful contractor?
Relationships has a massive part to play in it. We spoke about some of the relationships with me and my suppliers, but also with our clients. You know, like I trust you, our clients trust us to deliver. As I said, our clients give us some of the most complex jobs. As I said, because we just need to get it done. That's one thing I'll guarantee you. It will get done at the end, right? Because the biggest thing for us was offering the whole package deal to them. And that's why, you know, we went from shotcreting to anchoring to piling. So now we can package up that deal for our partners. And, you know, they have less to worry about. They give it all to us. Go get it done. Deliver on time, safely.
Now, a bit of a different kind of question.
Yeah.
What lesson did you have to learn the hard way?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Just give us one example. One interesting
I
example.
don't know if we've got enough time then. Right? That is a difficult one. Just trust in yourself. Just trust in yourself. And I was saying, you can't do wrong doing right. Try to do the right thing all the time. By people. It pays off in the long run.
Yeah.
Over time.
Maybe not on the long run, and maybe not on the short term, but on the long run.
I've definitely learned that for, as I said, being a contractor for over 25 years. That sometimes it's the harder road, which my clients where, I've lost some great jobs and times when I really needed work. But I've always tried to do the right thing and just tell the client right.
And maybe you're saying that maybe they didn't like what you've said, but still they appreciated and respected you and for telling the truth.
They came back around, and they're now some of my best clients. Because it's like buying some of the other brands. Cheapest is not always the best, but it's staying true to your
core values. Yeah,
to your core values. I think it's very important.
And that's all. That's one of my mottos as well. At TerraQUIP is lose the sale or win the client.
Yeah,
because then the sale will come at some point.
It'll come back. Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
But be ready to lose the sale if you know it's not the right thing to do for the client.
Correct. As I said, you can't do wrong doing right. So.
That's very good. The next question, I think you kind of answered it already, because it's going to be, what would you wish to say to your younger self? What would you say to your younger self if you'd have the opportunity? And yeah, trusting yourself is one of them. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else that you could say here?
You're going to get bumps in the road. One thing is guaranteed, there's going to be problems. Try not to let it get you. Move on. Keep moving forward.
Because we work with so much pressure, because you know yourself, you work with sometimes liquidated damages and stuff like potential liquidated damages. There's a lot of pressure on yourself so a big part of our industry, and especially for business owners or let's say executive managers, is to be able to switch off as soon as you get home. Switch off, give your brain time to relax, and then tomorrow is a new day.
Yep.
Apply that. In 25 years, I'm sure you had to practice that a lot of times. How do you train for that? How do you teach yourself to be like, okay, I've done everything I could for today. Now it's 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night. It's time to relax. Tomorrow is another day. And be able to switch off, be able to sleep well, be able to be present with your family, have a dinner with your family maybe, or a breakfast, before work. How do you train yourself to become good at that? Because that's such an important part of the business that nobody talks about.
Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of people are talking about mental health. That's what you're saying. For me, it was training myself. You have to keep telling yourself that, to just take time for yourself, switch off, because it can become very consuming. And for me, it was just keep telling yourself tomorrow's another day. It's going to be good. We're going to fix it. That problem, there's no problem that can't be overkept. With people, communication is a big thing. So, and once again, having a great team, for me, was our team is everything. Our people is everything. It's not me. It's everyone around me.
Absolutely.
It really is. And
you can't do everything by yourself.
No, absolutely. We support each other to no end. We call it the O'Sullivan family, and it's 100% the family. Everyone.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's something I relate to as well. Yeah. One of the last questions: where do you see the market in Australia going related to our field? I mean, obviously, Australia is still a baby. It's still a very young country. There's so much to do. There's so much land. There's so much development still being talked about and planned. Where do you see the market going? What's the direction? What do you have in plan for Sullivan?
O'Sullivan's plan is to be able to support our clients more overall and offer that full package with design and getting more efficient. Like we are using some of the best world-class geotech engineers along with some of the best equipment to bring it all together for an end result for our client, for more cost-effective, better program, safer for all of us and our clients, and deliver on time, because everyone wants to build cheaper and build faster. But that all has to be brought together in one place, and that's what O'Sullivan wants to deliver.
That's fantastic. But in terms of, do you see let's say the residential market or the commercial or the infrastructure or the transmission line, or what do you see? Which one of the segments do you see developing or increasing or decreasing in the next few years? Because obviously they're still talking about such a huge housing crisis in Australia, right? So the only way to tackle that is to have more houses being built.
Correct. I think the housing market is definitely one. I think the renewable energies is another place that I think is going to come up. For me personally, in the affordable housing, apartment blocks, stuff like that, that's a space we're very much in. Infrastructure is always going to be there. I think there's going to be more tunnels, more of that. For me, it's going to be the affordable housing, I think, is a place where we're going to play a part on, because that's very heavy, densely populated areas in Sydney and Brisbane. So, we can see a lot of difficult big buildings going to small places with piling basements and so forth. Then you got the Olympics in Brisbane, which does a big push on with infrastructure and all that up there. And we're down in Adelaide as well. There's some big infrastructure jobs going up down there.
Adelaide's been it's been growing like crazy. It's moving very fast in the last few years at least.
Yeah, it definitely is. We've been down in Adelaide and things have been quite good so far. Just still getting our head around it and we've got boots in the ground every day down there. So good.
That's very good. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time, Kenny, and thank you for being our client. Thank you for your continuous business.
Yep. Thanks for the support, and thanks for having me.
No worries. I'm sure we're going to be doing this in the next in the near future as well.
Yeah. Maybe with less wine next time.
That's
you like the less time?
Yeah. We're just moving.
That's normally how we have our meetings.
Yeah. We'll move the shooting time in the PM.
It was a good catch up, and thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found the information that we shared here valuable. And just remember, if it's not turning, you're not earning.